Hi everyone, it's Narelle here from Cricut Explore, Maker and More, and today I wanted to show you how to create knockout text using the new offset feature in Cricut Design Space. So the first thing I'm going to do is go up here to Images, and I'm going to be using an image from Design Space of a runner. So all I'm going to do there is type runner into the search all images and press enter, and the image I'm going to use is this second one here. So I'll click on that and I'll insert that into my canvas, and I'll move that one out of the way. And now I want to create my text, so I'll go to the text icon. I'm going to type the word run, but I actually want that in uppercase, so we'll go run, and there's my text there. Now the font that I'm using for this is Impact, and what I've chosen to do is use the italic version. And to change the style of your font, you just go to the style box here, and you can see that you have regular, you have bold, you have italic, and you also have italic bold. So I'm going to use italic bold or bold italic. So from this point here, I just want to close up this gap between the letters here. Now if I had that on regular, you can see that the gap is the same between each letter, but when I change that to italic, that changes. So let's go back to bold italic. So to change the distance between two of the letters and not everything, I need to ungroup those. So I can go up here to advanced and ungroup to letters. And then I'm just going to click on that N, and I'm just going to bring that a little bit closer so that I think these are quite even. And I think at that point that's good enough. So now what I have to do is I have to go and group those letters again so that they just become one image instead of what they are currently is 3 different layers. I need them to be one layer. So to do that, I'm going to go down the bottom here and I'm going to select weld. And that's now turned that from 3 layers into 1 and changed it from text into an image. So at this point I can't edit that text anymore. So if I'd had a spelling mistake in there, I would have to recreate my text or use the undo button to go back to a point prior to where I welded it or ungrouped it. So my text is fine now. So now I'm going to bring over my runner. Let's send the text to the back. So I'll right click and go send to back, and I can resize everything to fit and position it where I think I want that shadow. So I'm just going to resize everything so you can see that better. And what I'd like is for my runner to be over just covering the U and the N. So I think that's about where I want it. Now I have to allow for the fact that my shadow is going to be bigger than the original image. So I don't want this to be too big, because if I make her too big, then the shadow is going to be actually bigger than the text behind it. So let's bring her down there a little bit more so she's smaller, and I think that that should work. Actually just a touch smaller, I think. Okay, so now that I've got everything sized the way I want it, I'm going to go over here to the layers panel. Now this image itself does have a shadow layer, and I'll turn that on. In fact, let's make this a different color so we can see that when it shows up. So if I turn on that hidden layer, you can see that she does actually have a shadow layer, but I want to create my own. So I'm going to leave that hidden, and I'm also going to hide the 2 top layers so that all I'm left with is this one full layer. So I'm going to hide those 2. So now I'm just left with the solid layer. There are some little score lines in there, or cut lines, but that's fine. I don't need to worry about hiding those. So I'm going to, at that point, I'm going to go ahead and create the offset. So to do that, I select my image, I go up to the offset button, and you can see instantly that it shows you what your offset's going to look like. If you want that bigger, it's just a matter of moving that slider to the right, and then when you've got it to the size you want, then you'll click apply. Now I don't want it quite that big, so I'm going to go back to a smaller offset, and once you've clicked on this little dot here, you're able to use the arrow on your keyboard to make that smaller, or you can, if you know exactly the size that you want, you can put that in here. So if I went 0.1, it will change to that size offset. So I think 0.1 is probably pretty good, so I'm going to leave it at that. I'm going to click apply. So now I've got my own offset. So I'll move my original image out of the way, and I'm going to go in here and select the image and my text so that I can now slice that out of the Word. So remember, when you're slicing, you can only have 2 layers selected. So if you look in the layers panel here, I've only got 2 layers, which means the slice button will be lit up and available to use. So here I'm going to click slice, and now it's sliced that shadow out of the image. So let's move our run out of the way, and what's actually left are the pieces that I've sliced out. So I don't need those anymore, so I'm going to move that out of the way, bring my run back in, and then bring my original image, and you can see there that she's now sliced out of that Word run. So let's go and turn those extra layers back on, and there's our completed project. So at that point, all you need to do is select everything so that when you resize it, it all resizes at the same time and in proportion, and then you'll just change that to be the size that you want to fit on the actual base that you're putting that on, whether it's a cup or a plaque or a tile or whatever you're using. So hopefully that wasn't too quick. I like to keep the videos as short as I possibly can. Hopefully that helps. If you have any questions, please feel free to comment and I'll help you as best as I can. Do remember that this new offset feature is still in beta. There are glitches and hopefully they'll be working on those and we'll have a smooth offset feature sooner rather than later. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.